You can't take it with you when you're gone, so how do you make the most of it while you are here? It's time for Your Money Matters with Sam and Dieter from Harness Financial.
Oh! All right, we've got it. We got there finally. Thank you. See, Ben is definitely going to have to come back. That's all right, Josh. We can live with that. And very good morning. I got the two good-looking boys here, Dieter and Sam. Nice to have you back with us, guys. And what are you going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to speak about how do we as employers, because we're business owners, everyone in this room, how do we actually look after the people that look after our business? Now, last week we spoke about workplace savings plans, which helps people retire and have a better retirement. But today we're going to talk about the other side of the coin, which is things go wrong. We kind of break down from time to time. So how do we actually look after our staff between that age, that point of where they're working for us in retirement, and make sure they can have the best treatment and the best outcomes from a health perspective? So, we've got Sam here. He's a specialist in this area. He's very knowledgeable, has done a lot of business, a lot of schemes for companies looking after their staff. So, Sam, give us an idea of what this really is about.
When you first, I suppose, have an experience with insurance, it's generally something you've bought yourself.
The car, the house, the contents, yeah.
That's right. But in other jurisdictions, in, say, the US, for example, it's really normal to start a job and be given a whole bunch of insurance. We are seeing this happen more and more in New Zealand. And I'm talking not car insurance, but life insurance. I'm talking health insurance. I'm talking income protection. These kinds of covers that traditionally you would buy yourself in New Zealand and get advice individually. But no, we're seeing this theme. We're seeing employers put in place group cover for all of their staff. And it's happening for a number of reasons. One, group insurance is really interesting because you don't have to apply medically for it. So you get covered automatically provided there's enough numbers for the insurer to offer the cover. That means, say you need a knee replacement and you've been waiting years for it, you start a job that gives you health insurance, you can get that knee replaced straight away.
All right. Now, I just want to come back to something you said, Dieter, because once again, you guys come here, you'll say something, I'll think about it, go, wow, that's a completely different way to see it. And then you said something. You said we employ the stuff, we insure the stuff that we've bought for ourselves and we value, like our car or our home. You said it's about how do we take care of the people who work for us. Our staff, the people who run our business and make it work, are an asset. They are something that we, every 2 weeks when we pay their wages, that we invest in, they're an asset to us. So it makes perfect sense when you think about it like that you would insure that asset, those people, to keep them going and you know, make sure that they deliver for you. It's actually really rational when you put it in the terms that you two together put it in.
That's a good point. We often hear the phrase win-win, right? And some of us roll our eyes at that phrase, but it is really relevant here because when an employer puts insurance on their staff, the win for the staff is they get insurance automatically.
Yep.
And often they're getting insurance that is difficult for them to afford at the same price the employer's buying at, because the employer gets it arranged in a bulk price essentially. But the employer wins because absenteeism is addressed through health issues that occur. Plus the employer is immediately a more attractive employer. And the employer has implemented something to retain their employees. Not every firm does this, but those that do arrange group health, group life, group income protection for their staff, they are a better employer in terms of the package that is offered.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there other group insurances you can get? Like, can you get group car insurance for everyone? Your employee's got a car. You say, well, we can get you a good deal from this insurer here if everyone in the company insures with that. Are those sorts of things possible?
Good question. Not currently that I'm aware of, but there might be a
trademark Sean Plunket. Trademark idea, Sean Plunket.
You heard that idea here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about group car insurance, right, is that's quite a personal benefit matter, but group health insurance benefits the firm and it benefits the employees. The other thing about group insurance is that when you implement it, specifically group health insurance, your staff get 90 days to add on their partners and their children and have them covered for pre-existing conditions as well.
Are you talking about a specific product here that you...
Just health insurance in general.
Okay.
Most big health insurers in New Zealand will offer group health insurance. If you have more than 5 staff, you can look at this.
Wow.
But, we're working with firms that have thousands of staff. We're working with firms that have hundreds and firms that have 5. It all depends on what you're wanting to achieve in terms of what's available.
And the premiums for that are paid out of the company? The company pays them?
Yeah.
And do they, in general, recover those from the staff through reduced wages? Are you allowed to sort of
essentially
levy your staff?
It would be a form of a pay rise, essentially, if you implement it. And it's more efficient than a pay rise for various reasons. But in terms of how it's charged back and how it's taxed depends on what your accountant suggests. There are a few options, essentially.
All right.
Yeah.
How many businesses, or what proportion of New Zealand businesses, given the number of SMEs we've got in this country, might qualify for this sort of group medical insurance?
That's a great question. If you have more than 5 staff, you qualify.
And that's most businesses.
So a firm of 5 to 15 staff can easily arrange health insurance and have everyone covered automatically. You need more than 15 staff generally to arrange income protection or life insurance.
Right, okay.
The other thing too is you've got so many options as an employer. You don't have to implement you don't have to implement a Rolls-Royce solution. You can implement just a basic solution that benefits both you and your employees and then let them privately upgrade.
Yeah. Here's a question coming through on the text. Sean, by the way, if you want to ring in, guys, and ask any questions of Dieter or Sam, feel free. In fact, 2 questions, they're now coming. Sean, could you please ask, why does income protection insurance stop at age 65? Many people who own businesses or even employees work beyond 65. That's from Kaz.
It's a great question. Well, income protection actually stops at age 70 now. It used to stop at age 65, but now you can choose to have income protection to age 70. And I expect that in the next few years that a to age 75 option will become available. So the insurance industry is slowly catching up with what's happening.
Yeah. And I think there's just another part to that, which is if you have a proper plan in place, you should have an asset and a wealth base in which you don't really need it at that point.
By 65. If they've listened to you, Dieter, they don't have to worry after 65 because they've got the plan. They're already there. All right, another question coming through. Sean, these employee benefits attract very large fringe benefit tax bills. That's fine if it's affordable for the business owner. Small businesses are seldom able to afford that sort of thing. That's from Kimber.
It's a great question. It depends on the structure and it depends on the size of the business. But without getting too specific in tax advice, it is possible, depending on what your current fringe benefit offering is, to provide health insurance only under the threshold, which is off the top of my head $300 per quarter per staff member. So if you're wanting to implement basic health insurance for your staff, you could be spending $70 to $100 a month per staff member.
Oh, so $300 per quarter per staff member is $1,200 a year, right?
That's the FBT threshold, yeah.
Okay, what does, for a private individual, the sort of health cover that you are getting through these group schemes, what does that cost an individual?
Well, it's all based on age. So that's the thing. When you're implementing group cover, there's a group price based on the average age. But if you're implementing it privately, excuse me, then it's based on your age. So if you're older, then you're going to spend quite a lot of money on your health insurance. Yeah.
Okay, so I need to hire some younger people before we do, because we are going to talk about this. It's a very real thing. Okay, look, this is... here I go. Sean, could you set up a group insurance package for Platform Plus members?
Interesting. With great difficulty.
Okay, well, let's not go there. Sure, but it is an interesting question, Nick. I've never sort of considered it before. Do these things run in trends? Do you renew every year? Do you commit for a 5-year insurance policy? How does it work?
Normally there's a three-year renewal process.
Yeah.
And as soon as staff come on board or leave, you will update the ledger, I guess you could say.
All right.
Yeah.
And is the relationship with the insurer the individual or the business? So do you lodge your claim for a medical claim? Do you lodge it through the business? Or does everyone who's a member of the scheme have a relationship, an individual relationship with the insurer? That's
Great question. Well, the last thing an employer wants is more admin. So no, we don't bother the employers with these things. Sometimes they need to sign off and income protection claims saying, yes, my staff member has not been here. But no, if you want to make a claim with NIB or with Southern Cross Health Insurance, you'll just engage with the advisor, us, or directly through their apps.
And that was the other thing. I didn't want to make a rod for your back, but if you guys have sold the product, I guess you stand behind it.
Totally.
And you say, we'll sort it out. If there's an issue or a claim when you're having trouble, come and talk to us.
Yeah, exactly. Advice is needed often, and just how do you navigate through this? I want to go to this hospital. How can I do that, Sam? Kind of thing. We help with that.
Good on you. Bloody good on you. Regarding including, there's a lot of interest in this, including family and group insurance. Do the employees' kids have to be living at home?
No, not necessarily, but it does depend on the rules of the scheme, essentially.
Yeah.
Normally someone needs to be a dependent, so you can work through that.
Yeah. All right.
And it doesn't extend to parents and grandparents.
All right. The other one, Sean, I know of someone in Gisborne who has had both hips replaced by her company's health insurance scheme. There you go.
It's
Bingo.
great to hear.
A living example. All right. I think this is a really interesting topic that we've opened up. We've scheduled a meeting that we've had to cancel this afternoon on it.
We're halfway through the process. It's all good.
If people want to know more, how do they get in contact with you?
Well, you can call me, Sam Rees-Thomas, on 027 33 44812, or you can go to our website, www.harnessfinancial.co.nz.
And that is Harness Financial. You get it there. Look, the other thing, I was just thinking too, someone's listening on the platform today in a workplace, say, geez, that'd be good for me and all my mates at work. You can go to the boss and say, hey, boss, it doesn't have to be the boss that initiates this, right?
Yep.
All the workers get together and say, look, we're missing a trick here.
Yeah, 100%. And that's actually the way that many firms get set up. Yeah.
And I think just an interesting context is the average age of the health infrastructure in New Zealand is 47 years.
What?
So it's not going to get easier.
Yeah.
So having these sort of things in place is going to mean you get treatment if you need treatment.
Yeah.
Which has an impact.
Really important. My hips are fine at the moment.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing, Sean? I've seen a number of instances where a unwell boss or someone who is a boss and has an unwell family member has implemented group insurance because that's the only way that they get insurance.
Yeah.
It happens quite a bit, Yeah. And of course that benefits all their staff too.
Yeah.
So, whatever your reason is for looking at this, we can help.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, I've had my health issues in the last couple of years, and the public service sector has delivered for me.
Eventually.
But I do look, and I feel this responsibility in everything you can do. And the platform, we're not a mega corporate. I think a lot of people work here for love, and I kind of feel an obligation to, wherever I can, show that love back.
Sure.
In ways that perhaps aren't directly financial, but a scheme like this seems to me a huge benefit.
Totally. And you don't have to do the Rolls-Royce option for your staff either. Even if you just do the basic, you're giving them the opportunity to get cover with all pre-existing conditions covered. They can upgrade if they want,
Yeah, and unfortunately someone says, what about the sole trader? Well, I guess the sole trader goes and gets...
You need 5 staff.
You need 5 staff. Might that change, do you reckon?
No, because the 5-staff rule is based around anti-selection, based around actuarial requirements.
Yeah.
That's why when you apply for cover, normally you have to
submit your health history. That's the odds the casino's given us, isn't it?
That's a way to put it,
All right. Hey, Dita and Sam, always a pleasure to see you. That was really interesting.
Thanks for your time.
And just Tell us again, how do people get hold of you if they're interested in this?
027 3344 812, harnessfinancial.co.nz.
Sam and Dita at Harness Financial.
Your Money Matters with Sam and Dita from Harness Financial. To make the most out of your money, visit harnessfinancial.co.nz.